next job on this, now that we have finished all of the horrible jobs, the customer wants me to reinstate the EAS Electronic Air Suspension. Now, here's a cable I snaffled off eBay. Here's a cable that belongs to one of my customers. It's a Rover Tech setup. I don't know if you can see that. And all you really need then is to find... Put my camera down here. Can we see what's going on? We can. Right. Find the diagnostic cable that is near the ECU. If you've got a petrol or hard dash petrol version of the Range Rover Classic, be sure you're using the right cable. The cable you want has got a white and pink, a white and green, and two blacks by the looks of things, if you can say that anymore. Put one end into the diagnostics. You have to unplug the little kind of joblet off it. Fire the old laptop up. Oh, freezing today. Firing the old laptop up. And then what I really want to do, there's two things I need to open up here. Let me just get rid of my I've had the diagnostics open because I've been trying to fix the passenger door mirror. If I just do that, we're running Windows. And then we open up EAS Unlock software, and also I want to open up the device manager. I'll take the fucking glove off because my glove doesn't work with the touchpad on my keyboard. Right, I'm going to open up the device manager. There we are. Right, okie dokie. Now, device mangler. When I plug the port into my USB socket, I want to see what COM port it's opening up as. So I plug this in, and I can see almost instantly it's opening up as COM6. Great. Then I open up the EAS Unlock software. COM port failed. Don't worry about that shit. We'll open up EAS Setup. We'll set COM6. We'll put the ignition on. We'll initialize, and it will start talking to the ECU. This is using the Rover Tech cable, and when I get a series of FFs, I know it's talking to it. Just try and ignore the ABS pump in the background. Then I'm going to click on faults and read faults. And we're going to see here, there's a world of fucking faults on here. Signal incorrect, F82 hidden, FR signal incorrect, FA. Right, we will clear the faults. We'll read the faults again. I've got no airbags on this thing at the moment. Basically, it's telling me there's so many different faults on this thing. There is a world of them. Okay. If I go to the calibrate setting and I get the calibration from each of the four corners, I know it's talking to the ECU, so we've got all of that. Okay, that's good. And then I can go to functions, and here I should be able to enable the pump. Something clicked, but it didn't actually go on. Clicked, didn't actually happen. Didn't do anything at all. No, nothing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the box down, because one of the error messages on it anyway was around the valve block, that the exhaust function on the valve block was not working. I've been through and just double checked the bulk of the electrics down here. The fact that I can talk to the ECU and it's turned on is one good thing. But dropping the box down is not a massive issue. So let me stop the communication. I'll show you what happens now with the eBay cable. So again, I can't put my fucking glove on, can I? If we go back to device mangler, I close this down first of all, because I've stopped it and I've closed it down. So let me disconnect the very nice Rover Tech setup. And now we will plug in this eBay cable. Because last time I had one of these, it didn't work at all. This time, it's slightly different. So So this rather nice cable goes in and it recognises it as COM5, which is good news. Picture of my missus and boys from about 1,000 years ago. Dun dun dun. I should have a picture of a Range Rover on there, shouldn't I? EAS setup, COM5. Initialise. Right. We're getting different. I'm getting FFs and FCs. So it is coming back with FFs and FEs and FFs. It might need to be that some of these settings need adjusting. Status idle. Good idle. There's lots of FEs, some FFs. Let's see what faults it can read. Well, it's reading all of them, same as the other machine. If I go to calibrate and I read all of the settings, it's come back with different readings on that, which is odd. I'm not going to clear the settings, but it's not reading the same profile settings that the other cable did, which I know works. So I might have to do a bit of investigation to find out what it is I need to do with this cable in order to make this cable work, or something like that. But as you can see, the eBay cable needs a little bit more attention than the Rovertech one. So I'll continue to work on that, and I'll do a review on this thing and what settings you might need to use on your EAS unlock software in order to get this cable working. Right, now I need to get the box off underneath, I think, is the next thing to do. So it's ignition off, because there is nothing working on it. I can't even get the pump to come on. So if I get the box off the car, then I can get it on the bench, and we can run the power probe through various parts of it. So let me reorganise myself underneath the car. Right, so we go down, and what I've got here, a couple of plastic pots, undo the two fixings on this end, on this bracket on the chassis, which go into that bracket there, loosen the two bolts that go into this end of the box, pull this end outwards, slip that end off, and the box comes down. Now, the more observant of you will notice that the cables aren't connected. Okay, right, yes, that'll be why nothing is really coming back from the box itself, the valve block. So I think we really need to get this thing on the bench, as I said already. In order to access all of the pipes that go to the front, you need to undo this plate here. As you can see, we've got a mixture of fixings on this. It's not always ideal, is it? But, you know, we are where we are. And I also need to undo the exhaust pipe, or the inlet and exhaust pipe, which is on this end. So I'll get these all off, and I'll get this box onto the bench, and then we'll see what's going on. Right, it's out, and it appears complete. The interesting one for me here is that most of these pipes were loose, such as this one here. They're not actually doing anything. The seals aren't doing anything. What you should do when you're releasing these things, 8mm spanner, push the 8mm spanner against the ring, and then pull the pipe out. Now, number 6 on the end there, that's the pipe that goes to the receiver, which is underneath this side. And it did have a fair amount of air in it still, but I couldn't depressurise it because nothing was connected up. So, yeah, be really careful when you're working with these things, folks. The options were that I probably should have reconnected everything and then depressurized the system before I tried to disconnect it. Most of these ports, by the way, you access via this panel down here, and you can see the fixings have all broken off here. So what I'm inclined to do is to strip this box down, give it a damn good clean off, drill these fixings back out so we can reuse them again. Let's see what's going on. But it's very clear that someone has been in here before. PTFE tape, loose connections left, right and bloody centre. Yeah. So I think we need to get everything out of this. Now, that's the dryer. That's filled with something. That's the pump, and this is the valve block. And then we've got two connectors. One's for the pump, one's for the valve block. So we'll get the various components out. We'll give it a damn good clean off. We'll put it back together again, and we'll see what is going on with it. Now, like I say, it looks complete, but quite why it was decommissioned, I couldn't tell you at this stage. Pump is going to be one of the first things we check. Right, looking at the dryer first and foremost, you will be told that these are non-serviceable, but as you can see, they've got a nice little screw cap on the top, and underneath the screw cap is a Gert Big spring, and underneath the Gert Big spring is a metal filter with a filter pad, and then at the bottom end you'll have another metal gauze with another foam pad. Now you'll see that these balls, they're kind of stuck to the filter, which might indicate that it's got a bit damp or maybe it needs changing. So you can buy a kit with the new foams and the new balls, and you can put it all back together again. So don't be too distraught about that. Let me just lob this out of the way. So I want to give this a clean and a quick service before it all goes back together again. General feeling I've got, by the way, on this is that someone has definitely been here before. A lot of the pipes were loose, the motor's been out, and none of the fixings are particularly tight. Certainly the fixings here, so I've undone one end of the blue pipe. Let's see if I can undo the other end with my bare fingers. Yes, I can. Doesn't seem very tight to me. I don't know about you. So, yeah, that's not staged either. I'm quite shocked by that. So, yeah, someone's been in here before. So I don't quite know how far they have gone into this. You can see it's particularly filthy. Let's move the balls out of the way. Now, these metal clips should lift out, and then there should be an O-ring underneath that. Using my pick tool to go in there, see if there is an O-ring. There is an O-ring. Oh, there's two O-rings. Oh, well, that's helpful. I wonder why there's two O-rings. I think there should only be one. That was port number 5. Let's just check port number 6. This is the one that went to the receiver tank. This has got smaller O-rings in it. This one has got... this one's also got 2 O-rings. I wonder if they're supposed to have 2 O-rings or 1 O-ring. Interesting. They're looking a bit knackered, but they've still got some flexibility. So I think maybe a service kit would not be out of order for this chappie, to replace all of the O-rings. I'm also going to take this block off the bottom here, and there are poppets and valves and service items in there. See what's going on in there. I'm not going to worry too much about the solenoids, relay solenoids just yet. That's the exhaust valve that it said was blocked, which is an interesting one. And then under here we've got all of the connectors for all of the loom and everything. Motor, we've got three pins on, earth, power, but there's also a thermal overload on this as well. So we can check the motor works, but really we need to plug it into the loom on the car in order to check that the thermal overload hasn't triggered on this pump. We can also check the efficiency of it as well. Yeah, I think. Okay, Mr. Pumpy, let's I got Mr. Power Probe. What we'll do is we will just attach, we'll assume the black wire is earth. I've not bothered checking, but the nice thing about the Power Probe is if I do fuck it up, I can't damage anything. Right, we'll apply power. No, didn't like that one. We'll apply power. Oh. Let's turn the noise off. Turn the noise off. Does it have any real grunt to it? Let's see what sort of grunt we've got. What can we do? Fucking hell, Richard. You're so well organised. Let's see if we can blow those away. In fact, we'll see if we can blow it up. Let's see if we can blow this up. If I was to zip tie that on there, that would be funny, wouldn't it? I reckon. Oh yeah. Zip tie, here's one. Look at that, zip tie. Okie doke. Now let's see what happens. I'd say it's pretty good. It's got some good flow through it. There's not a lot wrong with that pump, is there? I'm not going to make it go bang because it will make me frightened. Probably get that really huge actually. I might. No, Richard. We're supposed to be fixing the car. What I do want to do now is plug this into the loom and get my Rover gauge, not Rover gauge, EAS unlock software, just to see if it does work, but without the thermal overload interrupting it. So that should be fairly straightforward. We don't need the Power Probe. We'll take the pump. We'll take you. Bum 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 bum. Right, we will go down here, and we will plug the pump in. There he is. Right, pump plugged in, standing on box in the world. Okay, now we need to go up, and obviously we don't know again why the system was decommissioned. Right, I just tried this with the eBay cable. It didn't work, so I'm now putting the Rover Tech cable, which I know works. Let's open up EAS unlock software. We know that this cable is set to COM6, and we can initialize. I will find out why this other cable doesn't work, and I'll report back. I'll do a little video on it. Right, so we are now communicating, and if I go to functions and I click on pump on, oh good, the pump's on. Pump off. Pump on. Pump off. So we know that's working, which is good. Delightful. So we've got a good pump with no thermal issue with it, because obviously if the thermal cutout had failed, then the pump would not take power. So that's good news, I think. It is indeed. We've got a good component. So pump's good. What I want to look at next is this valve block. Okay, made some repairs to the box, partly because it was full of mud, and partly because every single one of the fixings, apart from one, have been bodged or broken in one way or another. So all I've really done here, scraped all the mud and the shit and the loose rust off. I'll treat your rust. Emptied all the mud out of the bottom of the container. Fitted M4 riv nuts, nice and small, which I can secure the various components of the box back together so it's not going to kind of fall apart. Now these things are never watertight, but they are sort of just really containers for the bits and bobs that go with the air suspension. You really need the parts that are with the air suspension then to be watertight. So for instance, we've got a nice big blank end here, and this sits up against the side chassis rail, so it's above, or it sits in between the chassis rail and the sill, so it is reasonably well protected. But anyway, that's that. That'll get de-rusted later on. I'm just going to have a mouthful of coffee. Right, what I'm going to do, I'll show you the problem I think we've got with the valve block. I'll just knock the thing off there. Right, so let's get an 8mm spanner. This I know is the dryer. I just want to get the pipe off it. So put the connector over there, pull the pipe out, let's get the valve block. Mr. Valve Block. Now, what normally happens, I mean, first and foremost, there's crap falling out of all of these bloody pipes, which really doesn't help. That's a big one, so that goes into there. If I go into one where it should go into, so I think it goes into 7, this one, when I push it in, it shouldn't come out, all right? Which is why you've got to hold the ring in and then pull the pipe out. This one, I can push it in, and it doesn't come out now, but it was earlier on. It was just pulling straight out. It's probably because I've had the O-rings out of this one and pushed them back in again. You'll notice there's different. Oh, that one does. Look, push that one in, and cack-handed. See, that one's not coming out now either. But it doesn't take a lot of resistance in order to pull it out. It shouldn't. It should stick in there. All right. So that's never going to be good when it does that. That one doesn't. This one does. So I'm going to replace all the seals on all of these. See how that is just utterly useless. It's never going to seal the system properly if it's going to do that. Right. Quickie, cleary, uppy, cleary, uppy, cleary, uppy, cleary. I don't want to cut the old bags off because it risks damaging the seats that the bag sits in. Right. Obviously you extend the bag out, you pull the bag, because normally this bit, you see, folds in on itself. And you have to collapse the bag in order to put it back in on itself. First thing I normally would try and do is see if we can turn the top and the bottom mountings. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. So we will next spray some lube in there. Turn it. Getting them back on is a piece of fucking piss. Getting them off is a right bastard. Now, you can start to see the seat there. Oh! So flattening the bag out. Maybe if I connect it into the vise. So if I flatten the bag in the vise to hold it. Bearing in mind the bag is fucked anyway. And then pull the top, here it comes, out on top. Yeah. So do the same with the other end. So clamp the bag in the vise, hold it nice and tight, and pull the top towards me. We didn't lube this one, did we? that work its way in. Like that. I'll give all these a damn good clean up. Right, so going to get this one off, and there's the front bag. I mean, the rubber is very thick, but I can feel it's soft on this end here, and that's probably going to be where it goes bang. Right. Just to finish up on the air suspension, I've ordered a complete set of bags now, new Dunlop. I've managed to salvage all of the mountings. They're a swine to get off, I know, you've watched. Painted the box and its various covers, so this can all go back together hopefully tomorrow. Yeah, I think. And then talking to the customer, it's a difficult one really. It's difficult to know what else might possibly go wrong with it. Obviously, we've done the reading from the ECU. We know that the pump works. I've refurbished completely, apart from 2 seals, the valve block. I don't know if the pipe work is going to be any good. And I've got 4 new bags. The only thing I haven't ordered is all of the level sensors. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We will see.